Very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the fifth in series of our masterclass, Systems Thinking for Strategic Initiative. Very important topic. We are thrilled to have you join us as we take this important topic, which is very critical in how we enhance our strategic operations and decision makings across various sectors, not just healthcare, and definitely a lot more importance in healthcare as well. Today we are privileged to have Naveen Lakkur sir. Very warm welcome, sir, and thanks for taking out time to speak to us today. He's our expert guide who will be guiding us through systems thinking and strategic initiatives. To give a little background about Naveen sir, he has been a serial entrepreneur with multiple companies he started and successfully ran and been director and part of board of director of various organizations. And then he turned into an innovation and leadership coach. Sir, I'll be thrilled to know about your journey as well, how you transitioned from multiple companies, but also like complete pivotal to become an innovation coach, where you have not just helped enterprises and entrepreneurs, but I think the estimate I got was more than a lakh or 100,000 professionals and students through your talks and training programs and workshops, as well as multiple books that you have got out over the last, utilizing your 25 years of industry experience and bringing the wealth of knowledge and practical insights to this forum. So once again, very warm welcome, sir, and we are glad to have you as part of this forum. Without further ado, I'll let you take over the stage and share your perspective.
Thank you so much for the invite and also the warm welcome and an introduction. Very nice. Thanks, Raghav. So yeah, today this is an interesting topic and also an important one when it comes to systems as a thinking, right? The systems thinking. And all the more in the healthcare. And today I'll try and keep the context more in the healthcare side, while I have been leadership and an innovation coach and been conducting many training programs and coaching in different segments, be it automotive, banking, finance, then in terms of deep tech, so many other industry domains. One of those which is very close to my heart is definitely healthcare, health and the wellness, because the more you think about it, especially after the COVID, people have understood that, the health is wealth. All the more, well, it was always there as a wisdom, but then people have now understood the importance of it, right? So I see some people, clapping and, welcoming me. Thank you so much for those who are welcoming me for this session. I'm going to share several insights, stories, the personal experiences, as much as, relating to the strategic initiatives. See, these are amazing combination. We keep doing a lot of training program on this systems thinking for strategic initiatives, right? While they both are whole and complete by themselves, but then strategic initiatives are a necessity, right? So innovation, you need to have that innovation aspect and, take strategic initiatives. If you want to grow, then that plays an important role. While strategic initiatives are very important, but the thinking to support that is as important or more, because that sets the foundation and also the way you would progress, and it's a great enabler. So thinking is like asking, are we thinking? How many of you think you're thinking? Say I. I want to keep this interactive because that's what the organizers said. It would be very interesting if we can keep it interactive. So fastest finger first. Go ahead and type in I, the letter I, if you think you are thinking. Okay. So sounds like a stupid question, right? It's like, are you breathing? The answer is going to be yes. So the I is whether are we breathing? Yes. And that is the I. Similarly, but like a breathing generally happens. But if at all we breathe consciously and in a systematic way with the discipline, then it becomes pranayama and yoga. So when you do it consciously, the benefits are phenomenal. Just the same way, when we think, one is thinking, are we thinking? It's like a synonym to breathing. But if we are thinking in a systemic way, it is like that yoga or pranayama, right? That's the distinction between just the thinking and the systemic thinking. And in the healthcare as a body itself is a system. It's a combination of many things which has come together functioning. Each of the organ also, which has its own functionality, but together they work to make it as a system. All right, that is the power of a system and systemic thinking. If we bring in for strategic initiatives, brilliant results and extraordinary results are kind of bound to happen. So, how many of you are interested to learn what it takes for that systems thinking and for taking strategic initiatives, right? Say double I. If you are interested in learning that what it takes, the mindset, what is required. So very good. I see some people going in with the double I saying that you are interested in developing that little mindset, what is required for systems thinking, and also wanting to understand and relate to strategic initiatives. Okay, wonderful. So I see many double I's coming in. Keep it going, and I'm sure it's going to inspire you and provide you with a lot more insights, and also equip you to take some strategic initiatives based on the inspiration of today's session. So if you are ready for that and wanting some insights, to draw some insights, say triple I. I. The secret of the insights is, when you say the triple I here, that means you're not only just interested, your mind is open to develop that mindset. It starts absorbing, and the moment it absorbs, it starts absorbing. So we are getting yourself ready for that absorption. So once you draw some insights, then you would be able to start applying, right? And it will start manifesting in different ways and forms, and should support you in your strategic initiatives. If you want to grow, strategic initiatives are essential, as I did mention. Okay. So what we will do is we will refer to my book a little extra. So it needs systems thinking for strategic initiatives, need that little extra, that mindset, what is required. We'll be referring to this. It's a book of illustrations distinguishing between ordinary and extraordinary. And we will refer to this and have some insights, inspiration, and some experiences, some ideas also getting generated, and so on. So with that, the structure of today's session is going to be that, one, that we will be looking at a little extra that mindset, what is required. And I'll also, as I said, would share some personal experiences that I've had in the field, and the context being healthcare. We will keep it around that. While it is applicable, the concepts are applicable to different domains, industry segments, but we will try and keep it around the healthcare, because this community being the healthcare. And third is we will share some insights. Well, I would share. You're welcome to share. As I said, we will keep it interactive. So you're welcome to share. And if you have any ideas, if you have any experiences, we will create that opportunity for you to share too. Okay. So with that, as a stage setting, are you ready for the dose? Medical terms, right? So I thought we prescribe. How many of your doctors here say I? If your doctors, the medical doctors say I. Okay, and the PhDs, okay. So nice. There are a few, and here, I don't know. Maybe there are people listening in through the live one. So there, I wouldn't know. So the interaction is only those
Yeah.
with those people who have access to be part of this interactive club today. So welcome. And those who are doctors, you're very special because you have access and you have the power to prescribe, right? So, and people do listen. So here we will prescribe a few doses. And what I thought is we will have 6 doses as a weekend. So here is 6 doses for you. Are you ready for this 6 doses? Right? I thought I'll say 6 shots. And as in several of the countries, the shot is that little injection that they give. But then at a weekend and 6 shots or 6 rounds of shots, anything of that kind would probably take you away to a different world and imagination, right? And then you might even need a doctor's prescription for that. So we will stick to 6 doses, and the very first dose is going to be okay. Sounds great. Fine. So here is the first dose for you. External engineering is ordinary. Inner engineering is extraordinary. Here is a character by name Zoe in my book. He is an extraordinary person, and they say that he's got that X factor. His friends especially say that he's got that X factor. And he started looking at understanding what is this X factor is all about and where is it coming from. And he realized that it is the attitude. And being that little extra in all aspects of his life was bringing him and making him that extraordinary person with that X factor. And then he also realizes that what makes ordinary extraordinary is just that little extra, right? In the correct place. So I come from engineering background, but a lot of them introduce me as Dr. Naveen Lakkur when I do sessions on healthcare. That's because of several reasons. And now that, as an engineer, looking at and saying external engineering is ordinary. So you might be wondering, what is this external engineering is ordinary because I'm an engineer. I have to give you a disclaimer. Ordinary doesn't mean it's bad. Ordinary only means that it is probably common and many times natural. And a little extra takes that extra effort to go to the next phase or next level, right? So in the wellness space, this is a big thing, right? So if you know how to do your inner engineering, then you are definitely better off from your healthcare perspective, right? So you know what it is made of, and and the doctors are what they are actually inner engineers. So they know how the mechanism works internally, both the hardware and the software. So I'm an engineer, right? So I'm speaking the hardware and the software. Well, the anatomy, the body as a physical body could be that hardware, and the software is the mechanism in which it works, the interconnection which happens, and how they trigger the other processes, right? So even in the digestive system, you would be able to understand, how one form of energy is transformed into other forms of energy, and there's a flow, digestive system, right? The systems thinking. Nature is one of the best teacher. And while I talk about this, I want to also talk about one strategic initiative relating to this particular quote and what you get to see it here. This is a story of Muralidhar Somisetti. He happened to be attending one of our training programs on creativity and innovation as inseparable twins, which we were conducting here at the World Trade Center. And they were participants, different kinds and backgrounds, people from medical, key people from CEOs, students, and they were operations heads and people from varied background and experience. During this exercises and this training program, there was one exercise where they had to creatively express their idea. Okay, and in this, Muralidhar Somishetty came forward with his young friend and a neighbor. He was an engineering student, and Muralidhar Somishetty himself, coming from technology background, so he said, expressed their idea that healthcare is going to become very expensive, and if we want to really follow this whole principle of prevention is better than cure, which is a well-known, proverb in the healthcare space, right? So yoga is the way to do it, is what they felt, and wellness should be taking prominence. So then they express their idea in a creative way that, how about a yoga mat? It's like the ancient wisdom, right? So the yoga mat, a being assistive, an intelligent one, and which will assist you in practicing yoga and help build wellness. So it sounded like a movie where the magic happens and it is a speaking yoga mat, and can it all be made real? No idea, right? But everybody liked, who listened to the idea, they liked it. And they thought about it. Later, they approached, they said, we want to take up 4 seats in our business labs in Bangalore. And then they wanted to create this. So they embarked on a strategic initiative of creating a yoga mat, which is intelligent. And they are engineers, by the way. And they wanted to create a yoga mat which is intelligent, which talks to you, which guides you, which will help you, build that wellness, right, for yourself, so that you are away from the illness. So with their strategic initiative, they put things together, got all the IoT, the Internet of Things, to work with artificial intelligence embedded. And when I asked, what is the basis for this? He said, Muralidhar Somishetty revealed his own personal story as it became a story of inspiration. When I got to know that he was an engineer working in as a senior executive in some of the top technology companies, multinational companies, for long hours, working for long hours, sitting, probably the postures isn't good. He developed back pain. And then he reached out to doctors, and they said, you need to go through surgeries and, spinal surgery and those kinds. So it scared him out. And he wanted to explore if there is any other way without surgery, if it can be treated. That's when he got introduced to the concept of yoga and therapy, which he did attend. And after that, he completely got cured without any surgical interventions. And then he started falling in love with yoga and started practicing yoga. He became a teacher, a yoga teacher. While he was a geek one side, he became a yoga teacher. And then he learned a lot of concepts, and he taught many people, helped cure. Then he said, man, one side, the technology, the power of technology, the other side is ancient wisdom and the science of the wellness. How about combining these two? And that is how this new strategic initiative with that systems thinking approach, holistic in nature, came together, and it became Yogify as a product. And they applied for patents. They thought there is a lot of novelty in this and the way they had designed this yoga mat. And fortunately, they got patents granted in record time. And that was the time when there was an application open for CES event in Las Vegas, which is the world's largest consumer electronics show, which happens around the world. So many electronics, the consumer electronics was showcased there. Even to get an entry, even though the thousands of them who get a chance, but millions of them apply. So Muralidhar Somishetty and his team applied to CES event about their strategic initiative, and fortunately it got selected. So they packed a yoga mat, which started talking. and started guiding. So they went there and rolled it out. Thousands and thousands of people, thousands of strategic initiatives being made showcaseable there. And here they started attracting quite a number of people, and they were going crazy looking at a yoga mat speaking, and and the ability to guide you, and can assist even the yoga teachers, because you know where the pressure points are, and their yoga teachers are equipped with the data, and they are guiding through the data rather than just talking through the air, right? So it was not to eliminate the doctor, I mean, or the yoga teacher here. It is to assist the doctor or the yoga teacher. Companies saw this and they said, this is really cool. We want to roll this out to our employees in our organizations. And NASA saw this and they said, there's pretty interesting amount of IP here, what you've created, we will be willing to support you, so they started supporting. And then it became a Make in India initiative. Um, and then it kind of uh, started to even export. So today, one of the key things which has happened is the large Samsung TVs are pre-integrated with Yogi 5 application, and it kind of helps them, right? So that is one of the strategic initiatives, which is now the Make in India product, exported to close to 30 plus countries, is a strategic initiative, and the power of it here is a combination of ancient wisdom, the engineering, and the aspects of wellness, and the company name is Wellnessness, right? So this is one of the showcase I thought I will share with this little extra concept and dose, right? So with that, are you ready for the second dose? And before we go there, if you have any thoughts or questions, or anything that you want to relate to as the power of inner engineering, as in the case of healthcare, the importance of it, want to share some insights, ideas, you're welcome. Say I if you want to share. Okay, so um, so I go to the next one, the second dose. Are you ready for it? Say I if you are ready for it. So here is the second dose. In the healthcare context, reacting is ordinary. Communicating effectively is extraordinary, right? So this takes me to my personal experience with Dr. Rajshekhar of Shekhar Eye Hospital now. When I met with a freak accident, had my eyes injured, and you know how important an eye is. Amongst all the sense organs, eyes are the most sensitive among the five sense organs. It cuts off even your mobility the moment something happens to the eyes, and it's one of the most well protected organ amongst the exposed ones, be it the eyelashes, the eyelids, and even small dust it can't take in. Just imagine a major impact which I went through. But when I got to understand this aspect of I needed interventions and the doctor, I was very worried and scared of what happened. And obviously, I was reacting, and I was even angry with God as to why he did what he did to me. And, so all of these challenges, which especially in the healthcare, right? Something goes wrong with your health, then you understand the importance of be it the organ or its duties, right? So here to me, when I got introduced to Dr. Rajshekhar, and when he briefed, and the way he reacted, it was actually not a reaction. He heard me out. He had his own process, the methodology in understanding, analyzing, and also relating to the patient. And one thing he said to me, After this relationship, the rapport got built. I became like this hutch dog, just following him wherever he goes, whatever he does to me. For one simple, the way that he communicated is that, Naveen, these eyes are not yours, it's mine. I'll take care of it. That just that statement, the way he said it, and the way the environment was set, made me feel so comfortable. And here, doctors are those, right, where you just go surrender. You need to, because you don't know. In the healthcare, a lot of it works with that consciousness and your connectedness. So here, communicating that consciousness, the connectedness enables the communication, the other C, right? So once that communication is effective, that kind of bonding, then the whole listening and how the body even reacts to what they do is very different. You need to build that confidence. You need to create that trust, right? Ultimately, doctors at the healthcare field, a lot is to do with the mindset as much as the physical, the body, which is the hardware, and the software is that mindset and the way you connect through the heart. As again, going back to my engineering thing, from a systems side, we learn how to think systems in engineering. And in engineering, in my communications, electronics and communication subject, there was this subject on communication where the signal in telecommunication, there is one small signal sent initially to check. And once it is checked, the other side, the connection gets established. And that small signal, a little extra signal that goes, is called handshake. Okay, in the concept of electronics and communication engineering. And as I grew and understood in management or in the healthcare, that little handshake, that signal which needs to go, is not just as a handshake, it is the heart shake. That signal once between the doctor or the provider and the receiver, once that connection is established um, at the heart level, then magic gets happened, because the bonding, it's there, the way the body receives and the way the support is going to happen is going to be phenomenal, right? That is one other dose here, the importance of, not just reacting, which is natural and common for situations, but then how do we communicate effectively? And here, Dr. Rajshekhar has taken it to a new level in his own hospital, where the whole process which is set up when the patient comes in, when they would register, and the process of where they will go next, the visibility that has got created, and which are the 3 steps before they meet the doctor, and how much time it might take, and have they come prepared for it? These kind of preparedness and the courtesy with the staff that they express with the patient, all put together with the process, enables that the communication and effectively communicating is got established, and it has a big influence on the outcomes, which are positive outcomes, right, in the healthcare. So this is another dose for those who want to literally take some insights, generate some ideas, and implement some concepts in your practice. So if this dose is of inspiration and insightful, say I. And if it is inspiring you to go come with some ideas and put it to practice in your own thing, you can say I. Yeah, yes, it is what I'm hearing. Nice. Are you ready for the next dose? Say double I. Okay. So the next dose, here it comes. Working hard is ordinary. Working smart is extraordinary. I think interesting one, because there is no shortcut to hard work, right? And doctors and the medical professional, healthcare, industry itself expects a lot of hard work. So when we say it is ordinary, again, reiterating the disclaimer that ordinary doesn't mean it is bad. It only means that there is a lot of commonality, because almost every doctor, every healthcare professional would be working very hard. So how do we bring in that smart working, that little extra, right? This is where I think usage of technology plays a big role. And here, one of those strategic initiatives that I would like to quote is recently at JINSA, where it is an incubation center in Bangalore again. One of the healthcare initiatives that I happened to meet an engineer again, but he was the only engineer in his family, right? Everybody else were doctors. Uh, and he has created. Now I asked him, what is he up to? What is his strategic initiative? He said he's building a robot which is going to be assisted in doing surgeries. Right? I was like wondering, wow, but is it allowed? And he said there is a long process, and now, as of now, it is in the testing process. And I asked him, is it going to replace the doctors? He said no. As in fact, some of these surgeons, their wealth of knowledge, this is going to assist them rather than replacing them. It is going to assist them, and even as they grow older, if their hands are shaking and so on, so this becomes a better method to engage and conduct surgeries, right? And his pastime, the best pastime that he grew up, was literally going and sitting in the operation theater and watching surgeries. And in his whole family, he thought he was the useless guy who's just studied engineering, and he didn't become a doctor, because doctor is a very holy profession. But now look at him, what he's created. Many doctors are appreciating and thanking him. So to make their work, while the hard work is involved by the doctors, how a smart work is going to enable and help save many lives, right? So and many different ways of building the smartness. One is technology. And do you have any other ideas as to how you can work smartly? You need to apply systems thinking. I'm sure there'll be some ideas coming. And here was an example of a strategic initiative, which is creating a robot for conducting surgeries. Anybody who has any ideas or examples of how they can shift from that little extras, which could help from moving from hard working, which is required, to smart working in the healthcare? Okay, planning, very nice. Okay, streamlining process, very nice. Patient pathways, okay, documentation, fantastic. Good ones are coming out. Go ahead. What else could be those, right? So which can move from that hard work to smart work, eliminating unnecessary, okay, duplications, good. Blood type list, okay. So getting into that pre-treatment, getting to know information or having data ready, okay, is one. So claims processing, very good. And one of those which I see also is the power of collaboration, right? So making that, working from hard working to the smart working, getting to do as much as the usage of technology, here the collaboration. And in healthcare, again, collaboration comes natural, and people understand the specialities and specializations. So they do collaborate, and you need to collaborate. So and bringing human values to the forefront there, right? So the risk assessments and alerts, good one. Then what else? So here is the dose. You want to move to the next dose, and do you appreciate the strategic initiative of this engineer who is actually helping these doctors to perform surgeries using robots? That's a strategic initiative. Okay, are you ready for the next dose? Say I. Okay. So here you go. Wailing away time is ordinary. Healing the world with your time is extraordinary. Again, I think this is healthcare, and the doctors and people in this profession, while they're practitioners, they hardly get time to wail away. But those who have understood their profession itself is meant and dedicated for healing the world. And one of those professionals, the Dr. Jagdish Chaturvedi. So very interesting doctor, and he is also an innovator. He has been one of named for 40 under 40 the innovators in the medical field. He's authored several books. He's an ENT specialist. Well, one of the strategic initiatives that he's taken is to create this medical device which will assist in treating one of the ailments in the ear and the throat thing, right? Where thousands and thousands of patients have been benefited out of it. One of the biggest benefit that it has been able to get is to move this whole process, which used to be an inpatient process, now has shifted as an outpatient process, so that the treatment is done and they've gone home much without much pain and agony or the pills, right? So that's the benefit that he's bought. And one thing that I liked a little extra in him, when I was having him on the show of a little extra, so he is also a stand-up comedian. And I asked him, what got him to do stand-up comedy, and he said, if laughter is the best medicine, I want to prescribe that. And so he says he wants to practice it. So he's become a stand-up comedian while he practices his ENT treatments that he provides and so on. So amazing individual. And here is somebody who, whenever he even gets time, whether he doesn't want to wail away those time, while he's wailing away the time, it is also becoming a medicine because of his stand-up comedy show that he does, right? If laughter is the best medicine, why every doctor should be practicing that is his philosophy. So I hope that is a dose of inspiration for all of you. And with that, are you ready for the next one? Say double I. Okay, so I see your fingers are really fast now. Um, so here you go. Acquiring knowledge is ordinary. Applying knowledge multiple times in multiple ways is extraordinary, right? Again, I'm bringing the disclaimer back. Acquiring knowledge is a necessity here in the healthcare field. There is no questions. If we are not acquiring that knowledge, we can't practice or do anything here. So here, when we agree that ordinary is not bad, it is a necessity here. Applying knowledge multiple times in multiple ways is extraordinary. Every time you're treating, you are applying that knowledge. Every time you're practicing, you're applying that knowledge. So it is an extraordinary trait of a medical or a healthcare practitioners. And I would like to talk about one of the strategic initiative of an amazing doctor, a doctor by name Dr. Shrikant Sola, a heart specialist. He is one of the toppers of the big universities in the US. and named on who's who. And he was practicing here when he came back to serve. He used to practice at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences. And as a cardiologist, he used to look at so many patients from all backgrounds. And one of the strategic data, the observation that he had out of the amount of knowledge that he had acquired, he continued to acquire new knowledge. And he started seeing, initially when he started doing the treating patients and saving lives, he started to feel very happy that he's been able to save a lot of lives. But then he saw the endless list of patients waiting for these kind of treatments. Then he started acquiring new knowledge. Why is it happening? And what can we do with it? How can we prevent? So then he realized one of the major contributor was the quality of air that we breathe, which was leading towards the problems even for the heart and so on. So many different problems, not only just to the heart. So then he went on and created, as a strategic initiative, he wanted to take it and solve that problem. So one of the ways that they found a way to solve that is to purify air. Now today he's become an entrepreneur. Pure Skies is a product. It uses the Wi-Fi technology, and again they've got several patents. And the way the design of it is found places in many industries, and even cities are looking at implementing. So one of the occasion that when I was having an interaction and when I was doing this training program for them, I asked this question: how do you know this is effective? How do you know that it is working? And you've been acquiring a lot of knowledge and applied it multiple times, multiple ways, and shifted from a reactive, that being reactive, to treatment, treating, right? After people have fallen sick and ill, now you've shifted to prevention. So how do you know it works? So they got into the data collection, and he got back to me and he said he showed me a data of a large, company which produces, manufactures infrastructure in cement manufacturing and all that. So he said, look at the pattern. After the implementation of our product, Pure Skies, the sick leaves have come down. And here is the impact, and of his journey from acquiring a lot of knowledge and applying them multiple times in multiple ways, how it has been able to, help people prevent and have a better life, So this is one of those strategic initiatives which has become an entrepreneurial initiative and an impactful one, right? I hope you're getting some insights. And it's not an option. This is one of my favorite doors, as every entrepreneur, every leader, so not only acquires knowledge, but they go a little extra, find every opportunity to apply that knowledge. So all the more in the healthcare and in the wellness space, right? So best wishes, and I hope you are equipped with this dose. So if you are having some ideas, inspired, say I. Okay, you're saying insightful. Thank you. And how the power of strategic initiative. Here is a doctor, cardiologist who has become an entrepreneur now. So with that, are you ready for the next dose? Say double I. Okay. Is anybody keeping a count of the number of doses? Uh, so having thoughts is ordinary. Finishing those thoughts in style is extraordinary. So here, while the thoughts keep coming, but what you do with those thoughts, a little extra is converting those thoughts, taking strategic initiatives and converting that and making it into something reality, which will fulfill its objective and the purpose, is what is very essential. And those, what it takes is that innovation, right? So finishing those thoughts in, not just finishing those thoughts, but doing it in style is what is extraordinary. So here with that, let me bring out one story of a strategic initiative by Dr. Arvind Tyagarajan. He lives currently in Silicon Valley in the US. But here he is one of those members who was guided by Dr. Abdul Kalam. And Dr. Arvind Tyagarajan, initially in his childhood dream, he was on my show, Inspiring Innovators, and he was sharing that his childhood dream was to become a medical doctor, but how he landed up becoming a PhD, and now his strategic initiatives are definitely part of every doctor, right? So one of the strategic initiatives that they took is, treating this heart. So what happens is that, there is this signals, the murmurs that they find as the signal which, if you capture them early and screen, you would be able to bring in the medical interventions much in advance rather than much later, right? Where the reaction after something has gone wrong is more intensive and more costly and also less effective, right? So he thought, how do we capture this? And he wanted to capture this, created the scanners and so on. But when he realized the adoption of this is going to be a lot more simpler, easier. So what he did as a little extra, converted the stethoscope into a digital stethoscope. The same design, everything, but then it is the digital one which can capture those murmurs, and especially for the heart screening. And a lot of them has been beneficial for neonatal healthcare. And totally around the world, more than 250,000 or more people have been benefited out of this medical device, which is the stethoscope, which is the digital one with the AI enabled, all of that simple as a stethoscope, but very intelligent one, which is helping so many. So one is having those thoughts. The other is finishing those thoughts in style is extraordinary, right? With Dr. Arvind Tyagarajan's story, and how his whole journey of getting it approved in the US and around the world for medical practitioners to use it as a device for screening heart diseases much in advance, so that it can be a preventable thing. Interventions required are come in early, and hence making it a lot more effective when it comes to the healthcare. So I hope you've had enough number of doses um, and some insights and also stories of inspiration through their strategic initiatives. If it has been inspiring and insightful, say aye. If you're getting some ideas that you think you would be able to apply in the field of the healthcare or whatever practice that you are into for leadership, right? Say double I. And if you are, of course, you need skills, you need competency to take that strategic initiatives, and you can say triple I if you are wanting to take that strategic initiatives. Okay, you need that systems thinking to support it, to make it impactful. So wishing you the very best in that. And here is something that I thought I will share, maybe useful for you. As one of the papers that I've authored is prescribing innovation in the healthcare. So there are 6 areas of innovation in healthcare. So typically when we talk about healthcare, the medical devices and pharma are the two which comes to the forefront naturally. But there are other domains which are equally powerful and impactful if only we start bringing them to the forefront too for healthcare and innovations in healthcare. One of them is the patient care. the other one being preventive care, and policies is the other one, and process is the other one, right? So with these, so it's innovation itself fits into these, and I have examples for strategic initiatives which has happened in each one of them. I think if you are interested in developing this and understanding these domains, I'll be happy to share the link for this white paper. So you can have a look at it, and I'm sure it's going to be providing a lot of insights and some thoughts for you. So best wishes, and I think a little extra as a mindset should help you take initiatives, not just taking initiatives, a little extra as systems thinking. If you're bringing it up to the forefront of your strategic initiatives, that's going to make 1 + 1 11, as against the typical 1 + 1, the way we relate as 2. So with that, let me logically close. We still have 2 minutes to our close of today's session. I'll turn it over to Raghav. And thanks for inviting me. And I hope this session was useful and insightful, and also inspiring for you to take up strategic initiatives. Best wishes. Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Sir, we do have a very what do you call, promising and very visionary leader here, Dr. Rajiv Chhibbar. And he's a versatile, one of very few versatile leaders we have in healthcare. Chhibbar, I would like you to speak. And now, yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
We are all, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I think I just wrote in my chat how I looked at the session. It was extremely smart. The way the 6 gospels, I would now say the gospels are really going to inspire us, and also make us more thinkable, is something that is going to now be within us, and more than within us, it is now going to reflect within how we now communicate healthcare more. The idea here, what you said, or what you inspired, was more in terms of how health can be something which is not only policy oriented, is not only patient centric, is not only a doctor to doctor or a doctor to patient communication initiative. It needs to have more thinking where an entire ecosystem needs to be engulfed, whether it is traditional when you started from the yoga mat, or the new age
Telescope. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think the session was really, really inspiring, makes us really wear the thinking hat almost like twice or thrice before we now jump into anything more where we think is innovative, or where we think can lead us to a larger healthcare domain. Really inspiring, sir. Thank you very much.
And Naveen sir, an audience, he is the only leader from Indian Health MedTech who represented India at recently held World Economic Forum.
Oh, very
World
nice.
Economic Forum, yeah. He represented
Thank
Indian
you very
Healthcare
much.
and MedTech, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank
That's an example of a little extra of this extraordinary person.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, thank you very much. Thank you. Really, really kind of
Thank
Manish
you.
ji. Thank you very much. But yes, as I said, your session was exactly smart, and it was like specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and really time bound. You not finished it at even 58 and said it's 2 minutes still to the to this session. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Manish ji.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah,
And I'll open the forum for folks to ask questions. I think Tenda had a question around sharing recording. We'll share that. But other question, please feel free to unmute and
Sir, do share the link if possible. I mean, this one is very, very interesting. Although we'll go to dot
Today.
com or
Not
dot,
today.
yeah, dot today. Yeah, yeah. We'll still go
Yes.
there. I'll still find more bait to chew on my thinking gaps.
Definitely. And we will share that. And also, maybe through the forum, through Raghav and Manish ji, they would also be able to share it. And I'm sure actually we conduct sessions on the strategic initiatives. How do you take that, bringing systems thinking as even training programs. We've done a lot in the healthcare domain for people in the healthcare domain, and phenomenal amount of impact that it has been able to create. So many stories are there, which I'm sure is going to inspire and bring new ideas, new ways of doing, and take strategic initiatives, which is very essential. And what we realize is most of the medical professionals, right, they are so busy, caught up in practice, and they are not able to participate in strategic initiatives. There's no time for it. But without that, new things which could be coming, but it is in isolation, right? So instead, how if the medical and the healthcare professionals participating in strategic initiatives and innovation will make a huge difference in the outcomes and the impact it can create. Yes.
Sir, one question I had was like you mentioned a little extra and through all these doses. In a lot of the healthcare leaders beyond the doctors and clinicians who are in frontline working, many of proportion of them have a more interest towards revenue and budget. Whenever the strategic initiatives are talked about, it becomes a question of revenue and budget. How can we push a little extra in their thinking to talk about these strategic areas and pursue these strategic initiatives?
Okay. I think firstly, the budgets in a strategic initiative, the budget and the money aspect is itself is a little extra, right? So it's a mindset. We need to understand that. And name of the game is there are many little extras in the strategic initiatives that you do. One of the strategic, the little extra is having a larger purpose, right? So once you have a larger purpose, I think the way you even relate to um, as part of the initiative itself will be very different. The second is in terms of how um, you use technology, right? Today, technology is becoming part and parcel of every field, every sector. So in the startup world, we talk about like fintech, edtech, medtech, health tech, and agri-tech. Every field tech is become a part and parcel. So the medtech, edtech, agri-tech, so these are all like some things which has high boosters, the healthcare. So how are we leveraging technology? Like, how are we using technology? The other is uh, in terms of, how we are talking about the aspect of collaboration. So the name of the game today is collaboration. Gone are those days as, how like one individual or one organization was trying to do everything. So today it's about the collaboration. Strategic initiatives, if we know how to collaborate, a pretty interesting thing. Right now, for example, how Uber did not create anything new as an innovation. Actually, it's a case study for business model innovation. Drivers were already there. Then taxis has been there for a long period. But how they leverage the map, how they leverage the technology to engage with the clients and the impact that they were able to create. Similarly, I see, one of the companies that, I used to advise and so on. So is into the medical tourism. It's a big leverage game. So, and go create something all from the ground, right? It's the name of the game is leverage. It's a strategic initiative and it became a business, but the business of collaboration. So this is another, so like that, there are a list of a little extras and just top of the mind, if we have to give, one is, I would like you to tell me what are the ones that we captured or the audience the little extras that they got for strategic initiatives, apart from the money itself as one of the drivers. So what are the little extras? So let's see how many of them were listening and captured. If not, I will repeat.
I think Tendai had a very valid point, and I totally resonate. Tendai, do you want to unmute and share it out loud? Around bureaucracy on the chat.
Thank you very, very much. This is really, really interesting. Like I put in the chat, I really fired up. I'm just buzzing with some ideas and things that I want to change. But I think in systems in healthcare, bureaucracy is a real hindrance, because one might have these innovative ideas, do all the groundwork, and sometimes the funding will always be there. But then bureaucracy, as an example, one might say, because of your level in terms of the hierarchy, we need to pass this idea through the chief or, whoever. And so sometimes that makes many innovative ideas die because of bureaucracy. So that's a real challenge in healthcare. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tendai, which is so true when it comes to that. And here, amongst the domains of innovation, we've said policies. Like a lot of innovations could happen, need to happen in the healthcare, in the policy side too, right? And these constraints which are there also are the triggers for a lot of innovation. So when the Ayushman Bharat, for example, is based on the policy, how a trigger for innovation and how the healthcare impact to the bottom of the pyramid is also happening. And during the COVID time, if we see how policies made a big difference in controlling and managing the pandemic, right? So, well, there are those constraints, here are those opportunities, and there is a big impact which can be created through the policies. So phenomenal space and needs both the political science, the healthcare, and the policies, bureaucracy to all combine to come with new ways of doing and handling things. And with AI also coming in the way in the healthcare, there's a lot of changes which is going to be happening, and new strategic initiatives are very essential. And we need to develop that strategic systems thinking for it. I'm sure the domains of innovation, if we have a competency for that and practitioners participating, should help. And Dr. Rajiv, as mentioned in the chat box, I have shared the link for the domains of innovation, the prescription for that, right? Some statistics and a white paper. So the link is there. For those who want to refer or download, you're welcome to do that. Raghav, over to you.
Totally. No, thanks a lot, sir. If there are any, I'm just checking LinkedIn, there are no questions, but a lot of eyes I can see there. During the session, people have definitely interacted there. So no, glad. Thanks for taking out time today. Just to take a final call. If there are any questions, please feel free to unmute, share just thoughts, any ideas that you might have.
Yeah, what was the best takeaways that people have had? I know some of them already said they've downloaded it already, and that is one takeaway. The white paper itself on healthcare, the innovation domains, is one takeaway. Then any other takeaways that you've had? And as Dr. Rajiv so beautifully put it in his takeaways, is very inspiring to me, and feel like okay, sharing more. and anybody else who has got takeaways? Raghav, what is your best takeaway today? And I would love to hear at least one takeaway from Manish ji. And Manish has been one of those members who have been relentlessly working to make this happen and today's event, right? So I would like to hear from him too. What is his best takeaway been?
Go ahead, Manishji. Sir. You are on mute, sir.
I think a lot of, say, introspection you have to do about the happenings, you have to do on happenings around you. You have to pick up the subtle things from the environment. And in fact, a lot of things, all six doses, I think I very well connect to. This is all I have also gone through all these years. And yes, it's a very valid and it's doable. If somebody really, wishes to apply, in fact, the last one, like acquiring and applying. So people do acquire a lot of knowledge and all, but yes, there's a gap. There's a gap in implementation part, and this is where they have to discover themselves also. They have a lot of potential, but they never, get into those kind of things to unleash their potential, apply their knowledge, for the social good, for a lot many things actually. So for me, it's really mindset changing, no doubt about, and reinforcement of certain ideas. I have been holding for a lot many years, like Dr. Chibal said. So thank you.
That's a little extra. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Same likewise for me. I think applying knowledge in multiple ways is one of the key things. And when we apply it multiple ways, it brings out very diverse thinkings and various solve multiple challenges. And then other is definitely having thoughts is ordinary, and then implementing is extraordinary, as sir said. And that's what we are trying to do with healthcare continuum. Like a lot of people have a lot of amazing knowledge and thoughts. We are trying to democratize that through forums like these and connect people. So very glad to have you on this session today. We look forward to collaborate with you. With that, I'll close it out and conclude the session for today. But it was great having you, sir, and thanks again, and thanks everyone.
Raghav, we have Prashant
Very
Gogia here. Prashant ji. Prashant ji, are you there? Prashant Gogia is there.
Prashant, sir, can you hear us? He's having some.
Anyway, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I think there's a
Sir,
question in the chat. I am some. Vidya, do you want to just unmute and ask your question? I think there's a question, sir, about entering the healthcare domain with less background. You're on mute, Naveen.
Okay. Yeah. So, is the question on how do they engage? One of the ways, from research side and even as a support, for the healthcare initiatives. So being part of a team, not necessarily as a practicing healthcare professional, right? But there is a complementing side. So again, depends on individual's background and the passion. There are many opportunities, right? And also be it in the research side, be it in technology enablement side, or be it in assisting different ways we can look at. And also, as I said, wellness, preventive healthcare is another big thing. If you're not a practicing medical doctor or so, you can still be associated. For example, one of the companies that I was advising, a US entity, like, and I was coaching them, for them to, they are into managing it's literally the health check of an institution, a medical institution. Like, how is their utilization? How is their the billing process, the pharmaceutical, the usage? All of these are tech enabled. Okay. And here it's got nothing to do directly with the healthcare practice, but then it is everything to do with running the automation and the management of a healthcare institution, right? So there are many different ways of associating based on one's personal interest and the background and how you can, you will definitely, if you have that passion, you will start acquiring that knowledge, and you will find multiple ways and multiple opportunities to apply that knowledge, right? So we need to be that little extra if this is the space that you want to be in. And as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Opportunities will show up once we understand. And there is a concept called thought expansion. So we would have no idea. If you take an example of a the car or a bike that you had to buy. Before that, you had no clue. But the moment you knew that you want to buy a particular, a car, then wherever you see, you will see cars. And after some time, when you're squaring down on a particular model, wherever you see, you will actually start realizing that so many cars of that brand, that model is there. And you know so much about it, like what is the mileage of it, and what's the capacity of it, what is the reviews of those. And that concept itself is called thought expansion. So now that she's expressed interest, he or she, with that question, right? She's sown the seed. Now the thought will start expanding, and best wishes. We will wish you the very best. And this is part of the mindset, right? The systems thinking would start kicking in, and also you'll find some opportunity. We wish you all the very best for that. And that's a technique also, right? So, and now that you said, right, who knows, in this forum, somebody might reach out saying, we have this opportunity. Would you want to take it up? Or now how to relate to other people in this forum. So you would reach out how you can participate. Even with this healthcare, the club which is there here. So how do you volunteer? So the moment you start doing that, then you'll start identifying opportunities. That's another technique or a method, I would say. Yeah, I hope it is useful.
Okay. I think with that, we'll close the session today. Thanks again, sir. And look forward to keep this knowledge flowing and bring this in practice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
everybody.
Thanks
you all.
everyone for
That's it.
joining. Yes.
Thank you. Excellent session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.